The topic of this segment is the development of plants. What we're going to look at is what happens to the seed after it is planted. Which way does it go when it starts to grow? When we look at plant development, there are basically two different kinds that we talk about. One is Epigeous. Some people say Epigeous. It really means epi means upon, geous referring to the soil, and this is where the cotyledons are raised out of the soil by the germinating seed. We see this in things like beans, cucumbers, radish. A lot of various crops do this. It is a very common sort of thing. The other kind of development that we deal with is called Hypogeous or Hypogeous. Hypo meaning below, geous again to the soil, and this is where the cotyledons remain in the soil. We see things like this occur in corn and peas and peanuts where the seed and everything remains in the soil and you get the shoot coming out of the ground. When we look at the bean starts out, you place the seed into the soil, we'll see that they start to absorb water, they start to germinate, and they come out with this little curved hook out of the ground. The little curved hook is what we call the hypocotyl. Hypo meaning below, cotyl referring to the cotyledon. So the hypocotyl is below the cotyledon and it curves like that. As day progresses, it starts to straighten out. And once it starts to straighten out, we can see where the hypocotyl is, and we can also see where the cotyledons are. Now, the cotyledons are those storage leaves inside of the seed that we often eat because of the nutritional value in them. Another day goes by, and to see the cotyledon starts to be consumed, basically. It starts to be used up, and here we can begin to see what we call the first true leaves appearing. True leaves are those that are going to be photosynthetic, and they're going to carry the plant forward. Another day goes by, and what we have is the cotyledons are now spread out. You have the first true leaves coming up. You can see the meristem. You can see what we call the epicotyl. Epi means above the cotyledon. The epicotyl will then start to give us the rest of the plant. The cotyledons at this point will begin to be consumed. They will dry up and they will drop off. The other type we get is called Hypogeous. This we're looking at corn, and basically you take the corn seed, you plant it into the ground, and as you plant it into the ground, it will start to develop. The germ will come out of the ground, and what we see therefore is really the epicotyl, because this is above the cotyledon because the cotyledon is still in the ground. Another day goes by and you can see the epicotyl down here, and we start to get our first true leaves. You can see the true leaf up here. Corn has that parallel type leaf. You see it stretch out. This is where the plant is going to progress. Another day goes by and you can see the true leaf, and you see it's much larger. The next leaf is starting to come out of the center part, and it is also moving upwards. So when we look at development of plants, we look at where does the seed stay in location to germination? Do we have something that's Epigeous, or do we have something that's Hypogeous?